Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. My name is Wayne Supernova. Well, if you're hearing this, then you know what happened in the last little bit of recording session that I did. We still got a couple episodes worth of content up until we get back to the point that I haven't already seen. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into episode 3 here. From the start of the episode, yes. The Adventure of the Runaway
Glancing
Road.
over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A
love
murder
this
in
storybook
a carriage
sort
as
of
it sped
aesthetic
through
thing
dense London fog
got going on
in
here.
the dead of night.
Does remember me. Does remind
Though
me.
the victim
not
and the
remember.
perpetrator were the
Does
only ones
remind me
inside,
of
there were multiple
the old
witnesses to the crime
Sherlock
itself.
Holmes books.
However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner.
Ooh, foreboding.
My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident, I believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together.
It's interesting that he calls that case, this case that we're about to start with, the beginning, even though, you know, we already crossed paths in the previous case.
Amazing. Is this
And
really
also-
just a railway station?
His voice, dude.
Railway station
His
or
voice
not,
is so
I've never seen such
interesting.
an enormous building before.
And look at all the
Also,
steam
I
locomotives.
love the detail. This is definitely
This
an
country is
aesthetic.
incredible.
And snow.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure.
I do like Susato's voice. Even though it
I
is British,
suppose
which is
you're
odd.
visiting students
but-
from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
That is a very tall tower right next to what I assume to be the Supreme Court building. Oh boy, what an interior. My first thoughts when I saw this for the first time was, my god, this is steampunk as hell, and I love it. What an incredible place. It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course, but they've only been built in a few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? A far cry from the wood and paper of most of our buildings are constructed from. It's certainly unfamiliar. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. What is this place again? This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruto-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain. Lord Chief Justice. We had instructions to report here at this time, if circumstances were different. We were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. But Kazuma can't. No. So instead, we are here in a different capacity, as envoys to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death. Yes, and having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. So we'd have to return to Japan. If we want to remain here in Great Britain, I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour. Yes, which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer, which is what I've been studying for. Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that's the second reason why we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London. I hope I'm up to scratch. Me too. This trial stuff in Great Britain is definitely interesting. Good morning. Sorry for keeping you. Oh. I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan? It seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies. Oh, no, don't mention it. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So, introductions. I am Male Strongheart, the Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. Ugh, I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Come on, Mr. Naruhodo, don't be a mouse. Oh, so now we're speaking telepathically? We just started talking to one another in the last case. It's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Yeah, see, now we're showing our stride. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Oh my god, my fucking throat just gave out on me in the middle of that line. I need a drink. Hold on a second. Oh, I think that's a little bit better. Yes, thank you. Oh yes, I also failed to mention, you probably know this from watching previous parts, but yes, I am recording this on my birthday. Felt like this was the most interesting thing for me to do here. This must be the Lord Chief Justice's desk. I believe it's made of marble. It looks more like an over-the-top tombstone that's toppled over to me. Yeah, because in Japan they have very tall pillars of stone and granite and marble and all sorts of rock materials to signify tombstones. It's different here in the U.S. and in Great Britain as well. I think that's your fanciful imagination at work again, Mr. Naruhodo. It feels like everything that's normally made of wood and paper at home is made of bricks and stone here. I know. That's why this place feels so overbearing, I'm sure. Look at these menacing metal giants facing each other across the room. I believe they're suits of armor. Oh, right. I thought maybe they were like the lion dogs we have in Japan guarding shrine gates. No, not at all. In fact, in Europe, suits of armor like these are always possessed by evil spirits, you know. Those lion dogs actually are an influence for something that happened earlier today. There was a Pokemon Presents, and they showed off a new form of Growlithe for Pokemon Legends Arceus, and yeah, it's based on the shrine guard dog / lion dog that Japan and China use for their shrines, and of course, some of people like to put them out in front of their houses too, to ward off evil spirits and other traditional meanings, of course. And they roam around in the middle of the night. And also, Susato is once again spreading misinformation. It's like her encyclopedia is filled with half actual facts that Naruhodo doesn't know, and then the other half is just random gossip and legends and fairy tales and stuff, and it's great. Really? Is there nothing you don't know, Mr. Sato? This book tells me everything I need to know about everything. If you're ever unsure, just ask. Where did she get that incredible tone? It's very small, too, which is even funnier to me. And then the last thing I want to check is this. This is funny. Is this some kind of clock? Actually, I think we might be inside some sort of giant clock. But those gears are larger than anything you'd find on a steam locomotive, even. It's eerie. Do you think clocks are some sort of hobby of his? The Lord Chief Justice, I mean. Well, boys do enjoy fiddling around with machines, don't they? I'm not sure you could fiddle with cogs that size, and I'm certain you couldn't call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise the cogs make, considering how large they are. There's actually something quite soothing about their precise rhythm. Alright, and now we will converse, of course. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, help. I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city. It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh? We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say I'm almost lost for words. I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water and gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded. Oh yes! Astounded is the word. Thanks for saving me there, Susato-san. And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor. Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming Great Exhibition we will be hosting here in London. Housting? That's a new word. Great Exhibition? Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history, and will make Paris World's Fair look like a toy shop. Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be. Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. I saw those birds fly back there. Is there a way for birds to get in here? Because I feel like that might be bad for the suits of armor and the gears and pretty much everything. Even if you do say so yourself. The sun will never set on our great empire. Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times, we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. I'm not sure nowadays if the sun never sets on the British Empire saying, if that saying is still true, because Britain does still own tiny areas around the world, but definitely not the way that they did back in this time period. Lord Chief Justice, I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you? Absolutely. A Mr. Kazuma Asogi, if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. That's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news? Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person. They tell me you Japanese are a people of protocol and courtesy, and I see that's true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed. If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart. What do you have to say, madam? It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal. Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo, this is it then, the moment of truth. Yep, here we go. Can we convince him? The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead? Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead. But without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean. Is there something I don't know? Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country, and that was Mr. Asogi. At least, that is what I've been led to understand. Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man. Mr. Naruhodo! I can ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I gonna say? If there is someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer, it's... Well, last time, when I went through this the first time, I clicked it's me. I'm kind of worried if I press the other, if I click on the other ones, if something bad's gonna happen. I wanna see what this says though, so I'm gonna click it. It can probably only be, yes, Miss Susato. Oh no, I made a bad choice. An unusual introduction, but I presume you mean this charming lady beside you. You're a lawyer, are you? That look she's giving me. After all the days of hard work she put in to help me study, I can't let her down now. I think that's quite enough joking, don't you, Lord Strongheart? My real answer is, it's me. I can do it. Is that so? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but... No qualifications, you say? And yet you still claim to be a lawyer? I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. I had Cosmo to help me, and I was the accused, glossing over the details. I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Buria. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training. I realize it's far too short a period of time, but it can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Asoki's journey had only just begun. Coming here on the study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance, that's all I'm asking for. Please. 31 seconds. Sorry? Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo. It was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in a good stead as a lawyer. Oh, thanks. So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. Huh? But let me ask you one thing first, sir. Yes? You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Well, yes, that's my intention. I see. Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there, all of a sudden? Yeah, I wonder if he has some sort of connection to the Asogis and Kazuma. Because, to be honest, the whole bigger picture thing, we know practically nothing, and I don't think they probably told Susato much of anything either, the way that women were being treated in Japan at that time.
Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you.
Really? Oh. What this test entails, huh? So, what form will the test take exactly?
Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be?
Well, defending people, of course.
Well said. So let's have you defend someone.
Huh?
Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an apt trial about to begin later today.
I hate to interrupt this whole interesting line of talk here, but this is just something that I noticed the first time I was playing through this, and it's even more prevalent in this pose. The pattern right next to the wrists on his little jacket coat, whatever the hell you want to call it, it looks like the pattern that's on the shirt of Charlie Brown, and I can't help but think of how ridiculous that would be. This guy is complete opposite of Charlie Brown, and it's hilarious. I'm gonna call him Charlie Brown for the remainder of the game.
No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this will be welcome news.
Today? Straight away?
If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. What could be simpler?
Ugh, how do I get myself in these situations? Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart?
Yes, good question. I remember. It's a murder trial.
A murder?
An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose.
That's easy to say.
But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will of course be sentenced to capital punishment.
Capital punishment? He'll be put to death?
Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably, you read that much in your short C-based introduction to British law?
We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life.
I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable.
But you can't do that, can you?
There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose.
So the defendant may live or die depending on how well I perform in court? If I lose, he'll be hanged.
Mr. Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen.
He's testing my resolve.
What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be?
What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? Of course I'll do it. Alright then, if I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it, I can't get the words out.
15 seconds. Your decision-making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. So, it's as I suspected, is it?
Sorry?
You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over.
Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance.
Mr. Naruhodo,
I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but what could I do?
It's all right. I understand.
You do? It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it.
What are you trying to say, madam?
I think what Miss Susato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable, and I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. Oh my god, flubbed 3 times in one line. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice.
Wait, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, was there something else?
It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time.
But I just said that.
I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him.
What?
At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down.
But that's awful.
But that is the truth.
Why does it have to be like this?
Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you.
I'm really his only hope?
So, what do you say now, madam?
Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve.
Oh.
Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves.
He's gone. The Old Bailey. If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once. Alright. I suppose we'll move. Actually, let's ask her what to do first. Miss Susato, can I just ask you something? Uh-oh. Careful! From this position, I can perform a Susato takedown in an instant. I know. Mr. Naruhodo, you heard Lord Strongheart. The trial starts imminently. If I need to throw you, I will. You know, you could just say, I think we should hurry to the courtroom. If you need to ask me anything, it had better wait until we're at the Old Bailey. Alright. Over to the Old Bailey we go. I wonder if this trial is going to be the entire case, once again. Or whether there's going to be a break. Simply put, I don't know how trials worked back then. I don't know if there were breaks in cases or anything like that, so we'll have to see. It'll be interesting. Oh, thank goodness, we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were going to rattle loose. Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from the Sherlock Holmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die, and we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. Yes, I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said that the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all. It's a very nice area, I guess I would say. I don't know what adjective to use to describe how elegant and grand this is. Oh wait, I just used 2 of them. So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait in is great. Oh my... Really? Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. It feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. Yes, whoever the man you're to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. Oh my god. Okay. So, I don't have a good Irish voice, but I'm going to do my best, as I've done with all the other voices. And also, we're going to have a lot of voices to voice act shortly, so I'm not looking forward to it. It's gonna kill my voice. There's like about 10 or 11 or 12 new characters that we're about to be introduced to, including this guy. I forgot to say his line. Oops. Alright. So, let me just go ahead and read the previous line. Top of the morning to you, madam, sir. What are yous doing following me here? Things are fair desperate, aren't they? Things are fair desperate, are they? Sorry, this is terrible, but you're gonna have to deal with it as I work out the kinks. Sorry. Would you look at those expressionless faces? From the east, are yous? We're from Japan, yes. Ah, Japan is it? Right, say no more. So, how much do yous need? No, we're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name, and all while in a strange, faraway land. So this sprite that he's doing right there reminds me a lot of Detective Fulbright from Dual Destinies, which I thought was kind of interesting. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. 'Tis grand, 'tis grand. Let me start by giving yous 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now. 1,000 guineas? Please, Miss Susato, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? 'Tis nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I've enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Ah, that hit me in the eye. Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you, no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, 'tis a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for me good self here. I'll be in the dock. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is... Don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me. Nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial is going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I'm terribly sorry to have to ask. ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Blustering blazes, do yous not know who I am? Me? One of London's biggest names. No, sorry, we only just arrived in the city, you see. I see. Suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park there in the center of London is another beautiful park. Sorry? A park? What? It is called McGilded Park, full of blossom and flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did. An entire park? In central London? A city of smiles. That's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its queer old people. That's amazing. I mean, really, really extraordinary. But now they've the gall to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask you? All right, don't pass out. Mr. Naruhodo, perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'll do our best. What was I after saying, you daft Egypt? I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry. I know what you're thinking. This chancer of a fella claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well, no. Not at all. Although it is a little strange, to be honest. Well, you don't have a lawyer, I mean. That would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry? Did he just say Reaper? Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Barrack von Zeeks. He's the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? When Van Zeek stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it's reached the desperate situation, where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness, Barrack von Zeeks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Cursed? On Earth? Oh boy.
The defendant is summoned, and his counsel. Please make your way out to the courtroom. The trial is about to begin.
His counsel? That would be me. Oh, 'tis time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. Until you showed your face here. I'd made up my mind, so I had. Sorry? I decided I'd have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? But then you made an appearance. A student of law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident, I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. I literally know nothing about the case, or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Mr. Naruhodo. The man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Cosmo would never have allowed to happen.
Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand.
I'll be right there. And we will be right there. Oh, let me finish this. Let me finish this little bit of dialogue here first. It's happening. First trial in a British court. I hope you're watching over me, Cosimo. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. Well, we'll figure out how we're going to manage this in the next episode. Man, so we met Charlie Brown, the Chief Justice of Great Britain, Charlie Brown. And then after that, we just met a rich Irishman. Who I'm just gonna call Jacksepticeye because I feel like it. I'm just gonna name all these characters completely different than what they actually are. Because there's a lot of them that are about to pop up, and I'm not looking forward to it, so I'm going to take a big drink of water in between these two parts, and I'll see you guys in the next part, where my torture begins. Thank you guys. See you then.